Hello, welcome or welcome back. Today I am talking about how you are God. Now we've heard that bandied around quite a bit, and today I want to talk about exactly what that statement means and how you can apply it to your life. So stick around. My name is Hedley Derenzie. I am a qualified life coach and author. I am also super passionate about the amazing teachings of the law of assumption as originally taught by the wonderful Neville Goddard. It is the stories we tell that create our life. So if you want to change your life, then you have to change the stories that you're telling. And if you want to create the most amazing life, then you need to know how to tell the most amazing stories, and that is why I am here. Thanks to these teachings, I am telling myself much better stories, and I want to help you to do the same. If you would like further support with this, I am available for coaching. Those details are in the box below. Or if you just want to stay connected, I am on Instagram, and those details are below as well. Okay, let's get into it. Today, I am talking about that major, massive, incredible statement, you are God. And what does that actually mean? That is a heavy statement, but I want to break it down because it is actually true. And when we can kind of strip away the religious connotations and any egoic connotations or narcissistic connotations that go with that statement, then we can actually get to the truth of it and understand the power of it and how you can apply that to your life to get what it is that you want, or not even to get, to experience what it is that you want to experience in your life, because that is why you are here. That is why we're all here, to experience more and more grander visions that we can possibly have for ourselves. A lot of the ideas that I have for these videos, they come while driving, and I had the idea for this video today while I was driving. Often I'm actually listening to Neville while I'm driving, and then as he'll say something, it'll spark an idea or a memory in me, and then I think that would be a great idea for a video. And today there was a quote, and again, I cannot remember where this is, so I'm sorry about that, but it is somewhere in one of his many books. But there's a quote in the Bible, and I'm not religious at all, but I really resonate with what Neville Goddard was doing in terms of translating the Bible as a mystical teaching. And that really resonates for me because when I was very young and sent to Sunday school, I think my parents just sent me there just to give them a break from looking after my brother and I. But I remember just listening to these stories thinking, this is like a load of crap. And no offense to anyone that believes in the Bible, whatever you believe, but just for me, I just felt that these stories didn't make sense, that it just didn't add up. So when Neville Goddard starts, when I discovered these teachings around the Neville's translation and how the Bible was meant as a mystical text and a guide to each and every one of us in order to create our realities rather than a historical account, that made a lot more sense to me. And that really resonated with me. And so now I really enjoy going back over these religious teachings and looking at them from more of a mystical perspective and a metaphysical perspective, which is what Neville would teach, and what I believe to be true is how they were meant to be received. And there's a quote in the Bible that Neville talks about. The quote is it not written in your law, I said ye are gods? So I wanted to make this video as a reminder of how we are all the gods of our reality, and you are God. And it reminded me, hearing this, it actually reminded me of a story or an experience that I had when I was on a plane once. And I've talked about my experiences on planes before. I'll link that video somewhere above. So I was on a flight, and this is actually during my economy days. You'll know what I mean if you watch that other video. I love flying. I absolutely love it. So something must come over me when I fly, because I meet a lot of people on planes. I seem to just have these amazing experiences on flights where I just make friends. And so this was when I was in my mid-20s, and I was flying to New York to see a girlfriend of mine because I used to live in the state. I was sitting next to a wonderful guy called Matt. I remember this. I remember his name. He was such a gorgeous guy. He was flying to New York with a group of disabled people to speak to the UN on behalf of people with disabilities. And I can't exactly remember why he was doing that, but I would just remember going, wow, you're a really like great guy. And he was very service orientated, really friendly, just very, but polite, you know, no weirdness or anything like that. He was just very friendly, and we ended up having a fabulous time. We just chatted most of the flight. And it was probably a few hours into the flight where we got talking about spirituality and creating reality. And I'd already been well and truly into all of this in my early 20s. And I remember at one point, it was probably a couple of hours into the flight, so we didn't really know each other that well, obviously. And I leaned over to him and I said, hey, I got to tell you something. And he's like, what? And I said, every single person on this plane is God. I remember the look on his face where he just kind of leaned back, and I could see there were a couple of thoughts running through his head. It was like, one, this girl is onto something, or she's batshit crazy, and I've got to sit the next 8 hours or 10 hours or however long this flight was next to her. And so it was very funny. And then he leaned into me and he said, let's just keep that between ourselves. I just thought it was such a beautiful, I could tell he was like, what is she talking about? And I look back on that and I know at the time that what I was saying was true. I knew at that time that we were the gods of our reality. So as I was saying those words, I knew they were true, but I look back on that memory now and I realize I didn't fully understand exactly what I was saying. I didn't understand what that actually meant. And now, thanks to the law of assumption and Neville Goddard's teachings, I really understand what I meant. And if it was true, it still is true. And why it is true is because in the Bible, the term God or Lord or Jesus Christ, what they are referring to is imagination. So when they say ye are gods, what they're really saying is you are imagination. You are the creators of your reality, and the power for you to be able to do that is your imagination. So imagination is God. God is imagination. That is what that means. When we say you are God, we're really saying you are imagination, and that is true. Your reality is a reflection of your imagination, what it is that you hold in your consciousness. So if you're not using your imagination consciously every single day to create new realities, you are not living as the God that you are. Essentially, and I want to say this respectfully, but you're living as a victim, because when we live as victims, we're living according to what is being reflected back to us at reality, not realizing that we're the ones influencing it. We're the ones holding those consciousnesses in our imagination, and then it's getting reflected back. We are here to live as gods, to be the gods that we were created to be through our imagination. Imagination is God, God is imagination, and imagination is what creates reality. So you are the gods creating your reality because you are imagination. It's not an egoic thing. It's not a narcissistic. That doesn't even come into it. That's not what this is about. When you understand that you are God and God is your imagination and imagination is what creates your reality, there is no ego. Because you're in your movie and you want the best for you, but you also want the best for all of the players and the characters that show up in your movie. Because why would you create a shitty movie for yourself? And a shitty movie is where everyone's just having a shitty time. You don't want to create that. You can. And often you do if you don't know the power that you have, so now, and that's another video for another time about wishing or imagining the best of the best of the best for everyone that comes into your reality, because everyone that comes into your reality is part of your movie and you are the creator of it, therefore you're responsible for it. So whatever you see in them, that's up for you to use your imagination to change if it's not favorable, but that's maybe for another time. You are the gods of your reality, and your godliness exists in your imagination. Your imagination is your godliness, and that's what that whole term means. Ye are gods. You are God. There is nothing egoic or narcissistic about claiming that for yourself. You must claim it for yourself. That's actually the ultimate service to you and others, is to claim your godliness to yourself, for yourself, because that then you're claiming your power, and with your power you can create greater and greater and higher states of consciousness, which will then get reflected back and everybody benefits. You are the gods of your reality. You are the superstars of your show. You are the writer, the director, the producers, the actors of your movie, and whatever you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you and assume the best for everyone in your movie too. Thank you for listening. And if you feel like you would like to, please feel free to share this video with family and friends. What else? If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I'd love to have you. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks. Bye.